Welcome students. Uh, Now we are going to see one theorem on continuous function. But before that, in previous video, we saw that a function is continuous if and only if image of convergent sequence is convergent. Okay, if we use that and we write here one statement, okay, that is the theorem. So we write that let xd and y row be matrix spaces, and f from x to y be a function, then f is continuous. Now this function f is continuous if and only if for each x belongs to x. It means that for each element of this set capital X, for each x belongs to x, f of xn converges to f of x. Okay, f of xn converges to f of x for every sequence, Now xn of x with xn converges to x. So in previous video we saw continuity at a point, okay, that is function is continuous at a point. So now in this theorem we say the continuity of function f on a set x here. Okay, so remember this theorem. But remember that now the converse of this theorem is not true. It means that actually for a continuous function f from x to y, okay, with now this condition f of xn converges to f of x, then now this statement is not always true. Then xn converges to x is not true. So we write remark here. So remark is that the converse of above theorem is not true. More precisely, okay, now for a continuous function, f from x to y, now if f of xn converges to f of x, then the assertion xn converges to x is not necessarily true. Because if you consider now this example, okay, so consider this function f from Ru to Ru, that is R with usual metric space. Now function f is defined in this way: f of x is equal to x square. Now this function is now continuous function here, and if we consider now this sequence, xn is equal to now minus 1 raised to n, okay, where we have here n belongs to now n here. Okay, now here f of xn, now image of this sequence is, now we have minus 1 raised to n raised to 2. So this is actually minus 1 raised to 2n. So this is plus 1. So meaning of this is that here f of xn converges to 1, okay, as n tends to infinity here. Actually this is the constant sequence, okay, f of xn is constant sequence here. So now limit of this sequence is 1, okay, but here now this sequence xn, okay, now minus 1 raised to n, now limit of this sequence does not exist. Actually this is oscillating sequence, because if you write this sequence then you will get now this type of terms in that sequence. So we cannot find limit of this sequence here. Actually this sequence is not convergent here. So we have now this remark here. So in view of that previous theorem, so actually we have this remark. So in view of theorem, that is that theorem, okay, f is continuous if and only if f of xn converges to f of x, whenever we have xn converges to x here. The convergent sequences are preserved under continuous mapping. Okay, but remember, it is not necessarily true for Cauchy sequences, because in that case you will get a sequence, okay, which is not Cauchy. So for example, okay, if you take now this one, now function f is now actually here open interval 0 to infinity to open interval 0 to infinity with usual metric, and f of x is defined now by this, okay, f of x is equal to we have 1 upon x. Now observe that now this sequence xn is equal to now 1 upon n. Now this sequence is Cauchy sequence, okay, this sequence is Cauchy sequence in this set, okay, but if you consider now is a Cauchy sequence, okay, but if you consider now image of this sequence, so f of xn, okay, f of xn is actually here we have 1 upon n, so which is equal to n. Now image of this Cauchy sequence is not Cauchy here, okay, because f of xn is equal to n is not Cauchy sequence here, okay. So remember that, okay, continuous function preserves the convergence here, okay. Now next is theorem on continuous function. That theorem tells us about the relation between now continuous function and the open sets here, okay. So when a function is continuous, then inverse image of open set is open, okay, and when we have inverse image of open set is open, then that function is continuous. So we are going to see now that theorem. So statement of theorem is this. Theorem: let xd and y row be metric spaces, and f from x to y be a function, then now this function f, okay, f is continuous if and only if f inverse g is open in X, is open in X whenever G is open in Y here. That is inverse image of open set is open here. Okay, so now we are going to see now proof of this theorem. Now in first part, now we are going to consider that the function f is continuous. Then we are going to show that f inverse G is open whenever G is open in Y here. So first is that let f be a continuous function, let f be continuous and G be open in Y. So what we want to prove? So we want to show that here f inverse G is open in X. Now inverse image of this set under F. So f inverse here. Now taking X belongs to f inverse G. Now since we want to show that f inverse G is open in X, so yes, well, if f inverse G is empty set, then obviously that is true. Okay, but f inverse G is non-empty, then we can take an element of this set. Okay, so here we will have to show that the open sphere whose center is at X and having some non-zero radius, now that open sphere is contained in now this set f inverse G. Okay, so hence we can say that now this set is an open set here. Okay, so taking X belongs to f inverse G. Okay, then okay, f of X belongs to G, but G is an open set here. So using that, now since G is an open set, G is an open set, okay, and f of X belongs to G. So using definition of open set, so we write that, so we write it follows that now this open sphere S epsilon of f of X. Okay, now here center of this open sphere is now f of X and radius is epsilon. So this open sphere is contained in now set G. Okay, for some epsilon greater than 0 here. Okay, but okay, we know that function f is continuous here. So in this theorem, now we have this statement here. So f is continuous. So using definition of continuity, so we can write more statements here. So we write here, but f being continuous, so using definition, we write here there exists a delta greater than 0 such that now f of S delta of X, now this set is contained in S epsilon of f of X. So image of this open sphere, okay, whose center is at X and radius is delta. Now image of this open sphere is contained in S epsilon of f of X. But now here we have S epsilon of f of X. Now this open sphere is contained in G. Okay. Now since we have S epsilon of f of X, now this open sphere is contained in G. So using this we write here, therefore yes, image of this open sphere, okay, is contained in G. So this implies that we have S delta of X. Now this set is contained in f inverse G. Okay, so therefore for X belongs to f inverse G, we have S delta of X is contained in f inverse G. Okay, so here we have shown that now for X belongs to f inverse G, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that S delta of X is contained in f inverse G. Okay, hence F inverse G is open here. Okay, so when G is open, then inverse image of set G is also open. Now for the converse part, in that we are going to assume that F inverse G is open in X whenever G is open in Y. Then we are going to show that F is continuous. So conversely, assume that F inverse G is open in X whenever G is open in Y. Okay, so now we want to show that here function F is continuous here. So we take now this point. So let X belongs to X be arbitrary, and epsilon greater than 0. Okay, be given. Then now function F is from X to Y, so we write then F of X belongs to Y here. Okay, and we consider now the open sphere. Okay, open sphere is an open set, so we consider with this set. So yes, epsilon of F of X. Actually this is open sphere, but every open sphere is open set, so we consider this open set. So yes, epsilon of F of X is an open set here. Open set. Now using our statement here, so we have here F inverse G is open in X whenever G is open in Y here. So F inverse G is open set. Okay, so therefore by our assumption, so by the assumption, yes, inverse image of this set is open here. So F inverse of yes epsilon of F of X is an open set, and okay, this set contains now this element. So we write here X belongs to now F inverse of yes epsilon of F of X here. Okay, yes, X belongs to F inverse of yes epsilon of F of X here. Consequently, there exists a delta greater than 0. Okay, because we know that F inverse G is open in X whenever G is open in Y. So there exists a delta greater than 0 such that now this open sphere S delta of X, now this is containing now F inverse of S epsilon of F of X. Okay, so we write here that is now image of this open sphere S delta of X, now this is containing S epsilon of F of X here. Okay, so this verifies that actually this okay, this tells us that now image of this open sphere S delta of X is contained in S epsilon of F of X. So we write here this verifies that function F is continuous at X here. Okay, but X is an arbitrary element here, hence function F is continuous here. It means that this is true for all X belongs to X. Okay, so thank you, student.